Hello, winners, and welcome to Two for the Win with your hosts, Nick and Will. Well, loyal followers of the show know that we go to Vegas 3-4 times a year. But this is the first time Nick and I had a joint experience in Vegas around March Madness. And it really came from, he'll talk more about it from his experience before, but wait till we tell you about the Fontainebleau March Mania for March Madness, and then we did a few other things in Vegas, of course, as well. But before we get into it, please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform. And also want to give a shout out to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Nick Menard.
You're welcome, Will. Hello, Will, winners.
Hello. So one thing we haven't talked a ton about, although people who follow us know, we do a lot of sports-related travel. So we try to check out different stadiums that we haven't seen, different events, like we went to UFC 300 that time. People know we go to the NBA Cup, certainly go to different football games, basketball games, a little bit of hockey. I think you've done more hockey than I have, and baseball. But, you know, we just came off not that long ago from March Madness, which is the NCAA men's basketball, where they have 68 teams, gets down into several weeks down to a final team that's a champion. And for those who may not be familiar with it, the first day is 16 games. The second day is 16 games. And then you got 8 games on day 3 and day 4. So it's 4 games of basketball heaven and just a ton of fun. And we decided, thanks to Nick's experience from the year before, to go to Fontainebleau. And Nick will tell you why we chose Fontainebleau, but went to Fontainebleau to watch basically 12 hours of basketball for 4 straight days. Is 3 days at Fontainebleau, 1 day elsewhere. We'll explain why in a minute. But what an experience. And they don't call it March Madness for no reason. So, but you were the inspiration, my friend. Maybe you can add a little color to why Fontainebleau in that experience, and then we can give more details as we go.
Yeah, sure. No, happy to. So I was able to experience that last year, and you had a different travel. I think you were in London at the time, so you were not able to come. But I was last year there by myself, and I said I want to experience Vegas for March Madness, with no expectation whatsoever. I just had a gathering of people who love March Madness the day before, the Wednesday, at the Stratosphere in Vegas. And so I gathered there with 300 other like crazy March Madness people and talking about the expectation, the gambling aspect of it and stuff. And I said, where is the best place to go watch March Madness? And I had different opinion, but Fontainebleau came back a few times. And I never been to Fontainebleau because it's quite a new resort in Vegas. But I decided to give it a shot. And so I went. I took the 3 days because basically they have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For every resort, they have a 3-day pack. Sunday not. The reason why is because most people come for an extended weekend and they fly all back Sunday home because they all come from different places of the United States. And so that's the reason why Sunday it's not something that resort are just scheduling because the attendance is a lot lower. And so I was there and I was in paradise. Like Will mentioned, it started at 9 o'clock up to 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. local time. And it's nonstop basketball. People are betting on everything and anything you will hear from Will. And then ability to just have fun and then hearing people screaming because they win bets or lose bets and stuff like that. It's a whole buffet all day long. So they have 2 different buffet from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the breakfast, and then 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. is dining, and it's nonstop, like refurbishing. So it's always hot. It's not a bad buffet at all. We're going to discuss that. Will probably talk about the food part. And so that's what we did. But we wanted to talk about not only the March Madness, which is March Mania. That's the name of Fontainebleau, but also talking about the resort because we never been there, and for different reasons. But we were very positively surprised by it. And after doing some research, I realized something, and I didn't know. I don't know if you know that, Will. So we knew it opened recently. So it opened in December 2023. And then it was a 16-year development journey. 16, 1 6. So
Wow.
this was literally the longest development, the longest span for any resort ever in Las Vegas. It cost $3.7 billion, the most expensive resort ever built in Las Vegas. The, the,
Wow.
the 67 stories. So, when you are in the side of the strip, like the south side of the strip, you have the best view on the Sphere, the Bellagio Fontaines, the Eiffel Tower. So it's literally everything. We had the view on the other side, which was also gorgeous. It's like the view of the mountains of Vegas in the back. So that was literally in the morning. You push the button, and then the thing opens, and then you have the best view from the room. So that was literally phenomenal. And something also very, very different. It's the only resort in Las Vegas that doesn't count on the you know on the gambling as a number one way to make money.
Oh,
So,
really?
so the whole concept, and we're going to explain more, but the whole concept is to be able to generate revenue from the luxury lifestyle, the the events that people are just renting place for at Fontainebleau, the restaurants, that's very high-end restaurant and bars. So bar, event, restaurants is literally what bring the most revenue for that hotel. And it's very different than the rest. But even by saying that, and I was so surprised because it felt so much smaller on the casino side, it's the second largest casino in Las Vegas.
No.
The
Really?
casino size, the size of the casino is 173,000 square feet, which is the second largest casino size in Las Vegas.
Wow. I
They have
wouldn't have guessed
13,
that.
they
Yeah.
have, no, they have 1,300 slot machine and 128 table games.
Really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, can we digress for a second there?
Sure.
Because I want to give context why I'm so shocked. So, the Fontainebleau, it was also my first time there. So, it's very open. Like sometimes you can get into casinos, smells smoky, um, but things are packed kind of tight. Like sometimes you got to, at least for a bigger guy like me, I got to go sideways in between the people who are sitting maybe at slot machines to kind of squeeze through and stuff. And I remember mentioning it to you a couple times
Mhm.
while we were there. It felt so nice and so open. Like you never felt you could tell it was busy, but it never felt crowded. And sometimes in casinos you feel crowded, or even the resorts just walking around you can feel crowded. That is shocking to me that it's the second largest, but I guess now that I stop and think about it, I guess that makes sense because that's why it was so spread out. Like, it was an extremely awesome layout, and, that's surprising, but in some ways, I guess maybe not surprising when I consider how open it was.
But I,
Mm.
I I was shocked when I was reading about this, like you, because I felt the same way. But you mentioned the smell, but you need to mention it more. Like
Oh,
even the
yeah, well, yeah,
smell, like the
yeah,
smoke, it smells delicious. I mean, they have like
yeah,
a perfume going on at all time, and it's always the same smell. And they sell that at the resort. I know they do the same thing in Bellagio, for example. But
yeah,
this was different. You just
yeah,
come out of the room. Every store, every story, every story, it smelled delicious. And you go
yeah,
to the main area, which is immense and the highest ceiling you can imagine. It's enormous, and you have like
yeah,
big chandelier coming out of nowhere, and it's very luxury. Like you can
yeah,
feel the luxury aspect of it, and that's definitely what they count on. Like everything is a bit more pricey, like the drinks and the food, but it's because it's their mark. It's their mark at
yeah,
Fontainebleau. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that scent is, it is amazing, and I think if you're somebody who, like some people like aromatherapy or even for their massages, right? They'll pay for certain oils or scents to aid in the, experience, the tranquility. That's how I felt with that scent. Like, for me, it always smelled, just extremely pleasant. and serene almost. So it's not an intense smell at all. Like but it's noticeable. I mean, you could definitely tell, but it whatever is the combination, it's a little bit floral, maybe a tiny bit spice, but not much, but it's a very pleasant, serene smell. And yeah, anywhere. So Nick and I, we always walk around to try to get a whole experience of the layout. And you have the lobby area, it hits you right when you come in, and the lobby's like all marble, and they have these massive rows. Um,
Mm,
Vases doesn't really do it justice. They're huge, but it's in the middle, and you got all these roses and stuff. But yeah, so that looks beautiful. But then you showed me about how you walk around to the other side, to the south end of the
mm,
garage, where the parking garage would be, and they have a massive statue. So it's got this Art Deco kind of vibe
mhm,
crossed with, but it's not too Art Deco. Like it's not like modern Art Deco. It's more like classic, yeah, like you were saying, very luxurious Art Deco. So it's not edgy, but it's done very well, very tasteful if you're into that. And the layout, like I said, it's very easy to get around, never feel crowded. Um, yeah, even now that I think about it, like there was always plenty of space for table games and slots, and they had that center bar. Um, has multiple levels, but it has escalator. You can get to that. And real quickly, because this for people who follow the show, I got a pet peeve about elevators. So Nick and I were on the 51st floor, and they Fontainebleau does it smart. There's a few resorts that do it this way too, but they'll section off the elevator. So you have elevator from like floor whatever 2 to 31, and then 32 to 51, and then 52 to, what'd you say, 76
yeah,
floors it was. So we had the 51st floor, which on the second set of elevators is
the
the
first one.
last floor, right, that you can actually go to. So it means you have to pass all those other floors. We never had to wait very long, and when we were in it, it got to the floor pretty quickly. It wasn't like 1,000 stops like sometimes you get on some of these things. So
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that. And then you mentioned the view. So just share about our particular view that we had was overlooking the stratosphere side. So you're looking north, but you have the mountains. And then so it's cool because in the daytime you get the sun, the eastern sun hitting the mountains that way, and you get that view out the window of the mountains. And then at night you got the stratosphere, which looks cool, all lit up when you're looking out the window. So but to your other point, the other side, you get the view of the sphere, which will
Mm.
be really, really cool. But we weren't able to get that side of the view.
No, and that's why we wanted to talk a little bit more about this resort because it's totally different. I mean, the I was I was thinking all the unique differentiator of Fontainebleau, and I think it has a strong Miami DNA in the sense
Yes.
the
Yeah.
iconic
Makes
like Fontainebleau brand, which is in Miami,
yeah.
the 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 higher level of high hand level of everything in there. I felt that, and then they are very very high. We didn't go partying because we were literally 12 hours in that theater, but they have a huge club, and that it's literally have the lift. That's the same name
Yeah,
as
the live.
Miami,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
Miami one. So that's pretty cool. It's a high end Miami import vibe, I would say. So that's definitely something to think about if you're someone who like the high end like clubbing. That's gonna be there to go. You will definitely have. When I saw the kind of DJ lineup for the next few months, that's impressive. So that's probably where it's at when you wanna experience that. The second is
Yeah.
the I mentioned the focus on non gaming revenue, which is very differentiator. So very high in dining, nightlife, retails, events. The retail store there is not you don't have a dollar store there. It's gonna be all
Yeah,
like the
no.
highest hand of retail you will find in Fontainebleau. So that's pretty cool. Something we didn't do, but I know they are known for, is the new Hall of Excellence Sports Museum. And it's
Oh,
actually on the second floor, and it's Tom Brady's backed. So that has to be something great. But like I said, we didn't have any time pretty much during the day, and at night it's closed, so we were not able to go check it out. But that's something that has a very good reputation. And then we didn't go there neither because it's a convention center, but they have the second largest convention in a resort in Old Vegas. It's over 550,000 square feet. So maybe you're lucky enough that your company will bring you to to Fontainebleau for one of those convention. But it's knowing the style of Fontainebleau, it's probably gonna be outstanding, beautiful, and best quality of sound.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think they have a Michelin restaurant. You mentioned about the fine dining. They actually have Michelin rated restaurant there. And then so a few other quick tidbits about it. If people are familiar with Vegas, to get your bearings, it's in between like where the Sahara and Stratosphere is and where the Venetian and Palazzo is. So it's on that side, but it's in between the two. Um, the rooms were massive. Like they were very roomy. The internet in the room was fantastic. Like
Hmm.
I never felt like sometimes you get the standard internet and it's a little sluggish. We were streaming and doing different stuff. I never had any issues with the internet, which was great. But here's another tip because one of the things at the March Mania is it's all you can eat, all you can drink. And by drink, I'm not just talking about non-alcoholic drinks. I'm talking about like good liquor, all you can drink. So needless to say, my hope is that I would go to Vegas on this trip and my wallet would come back heavier, but my body come back lighter. In reality, what happened is my body came back heavier, but my wallet came back lighter because of the all you can eat, all you can drink at the March Mania. But but knowing this, I actually did work out, which I don't usually do when I'm on vacation, but I went and worked out. So here's something I don't even think I told you this. They actually had two adjacent massive workout facilities. So you have one and it has all the dumbbells and it had individual like mats together. So if you were doing like kettlebell swings or you wanted to do yoga stretches or any kind of moves like that, you had your space. And then they had a wall of treadmills and then stair and stuff. And that's on one side. Then on the other side, it was similar, but it was a little bit more of the resistance machines. They also had dumbbells, but different kinds. So where I'm going with this is you could pick your spot. It didn't matter if you went to the left or to the right, but they were massive. If you ever got frustrated going to the gym, like, oh, I can't get my set of dumbbells, I gotta wait, or oh, I can't get this machine, I have to wait for. No worries. And it was busy. Like I went at one day, 5:30, one day 6, I think, some right in that range. And it was
In the
busy,
morning.
but I never felt rushed, never had to wait for anything. Um, so, so if you're a person who does like to get their workout in when you're traveling to Vegas, the Fontainebleau has a phenomenal setup for those who like to do that.
That's a good point because I know a lot of people care about that part. So yeah, you were there early morning because when I wake up, you were gone.
Well, I had to because I was taking advantage of March Mania's all you can drink and all you can eat, and they're just like, "Oh gosh." Should we go back to that now? Should we talk a little bit more? Is there something about Fontainebleau you wanted to share?
No, we can go back to that and see maybe the venue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, well, you go ahead, talk about the venue. I'll talk about the food and the drink.
Oh yeah, no. So the venue, it's in the Bow Theater. That's the name of it. So basically, it's not a sport bar. So you have a sport bar downstairs, and then you have the theater just on top of the sport bar. It's like you take the elevator or the escalator, and then you get there, and it's a huge theater. It's like a two-floor, two-story theater. It's I don't know how many seats in the theater, but it's huge, and it's even renowned in Vegas. When I was doing my research, they said it's one of the top three theater in all Las Vegas. Just to give you an idea, it's immense. So they do bunch of event there, like a concert there and everything like that. And basically, the way they do it, the scene, it's a huge screen in the middle where there's usually the event. It's a huge screen that they can break it in four because March Madness, like we'll mention, is set of four games at a time, pretty much. And so they have a huge screen, break it down in four, and on the side you have eight screen, or smaller but still big, but it's smaller on the side. So people who are sitting on the side, they have perfect view for that. And so on the floor, on the main floor, when people usually are dancing during concert and stuff like that, there's bunch of sofas. bunch of sofas where people can sit with tables and then watch the March Madness. And just in front of the scene, you have the buffet. So it's a huge buffet. We'll mention what's in there, but that's the way it is. And we were literally on the main floor, but elevated main floor. And in the middle, you have the VIP room. That's where we were at. We were on the first row, with amazing, comfortable seat. I mean, after 12 hours, nothing is comfortable, but we had a good idea to bring one of the pillow from the room,
Yeah,
and sitting on it made a huge difference day 2 and day 3.
yeah,
And so, but you have a table in front. They bring snacks nonstop, like popcorn. You can ask anything. Will was asking like something on the rock, blackberry, whatever it was, and the lady didn't even know, but she went and picked it up somewhere to be able to please customers.
yeah,
So that's amazing. Like they come every 10-15 minutes. So it's nonstop. It's not like they come one time every hour. You need to no. And if you don't want to wait, you have the bar. You have multi-bar. You can go. It's all you can drink because we had the bracelets and we had the whole experience. And then you can put your feet on the wall or on the table. I mean, it's literally like you are sitting like a king in the middle of the scene, with the best view. You don't have to lean up to watch because the people who are in front in the dance floor, they really have to lean up to watch the games.
yeah.
We were just literally, we had purchased the best seat, and I asked
Oh
and
yeah,
requested the
I
same
love them.
seat I had
Yeah,
last year, and
just
I already
great.
told her I want the same seat next year. Like so. So that's great. Internet was fantastic. So I was on my computer. I was dealing with some work at the same time. Like because you can do whatever you want. You are there for 12 hours. So, but and great. You connect with amazing people who love sports, but also very interesting people from different part of the country. Basically, I mean, it's something different. It's not for everybody because not everybody can sit down for 12 hours and watch sport,
Yeah.
but I can. So, so I was surprised that you actually made it, but I'm very proud you did it. But let's talk about the food because the food was outstanding. Definitely the breakfast, but I will let you speak.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, all good. No, thank you. So each day is different. So there's 3 days, and 3 days they have nuances of certain things. So for breakfast, they typically have a variation of an egg sandwich, and it may have one day may have bacon, another day may have sausage. It could differ, but there's basically some sort of breakfast sandwich. Um, and then there's either like things like French toast sticks or poached eggs. You could get eggs Benedict, and you can or different things on it. And then of course they have fruit, and they have different smoothies. So one day they had a coffee peanut butter smoothie, which was awesome. The other day it was a strawberry one. They have various oatmeal, but it's not like your, out of the box instant oatmeal. It's like the legit steel cut oats. And then they have like different diced up fruit in it and things like that, which is good. The pastries. Now that was one of the most dangerous darn things of the whole thing, because every day, I'm not talking like a little, like, rundown Little Debbie kind of pastry, like massive pastries, and, some are fruit filled, and the flakiness of the crust is just amazing, and we both fell in love. They had an almond pastry that was out of this world. So for those of you who are familiar with almond pastries, you got this, it's almost looks like a croissant, and then it's covered with like some powdered sugar and then the sliced almonds. And then it has a filling, right? An almond filling. But this one, they made it in such a way so most of it's light, but around the edge, it was like caramelized. So it was a little crispier, and it had a sweetness to it. And then the inside, the filling, it wasn't like just like a little butter spread of filling, like it was thick on the inside filling. And so it I mean, man, and again, it's all you can eat. So Nick and I had a hard time keeping to one pastry on the breakfast days. So I'm not usually a big breakfast eater. There was no way I was not gonna have breakfast. Like, it was phenomenal. And again, like you said, it's from 8 to 11, so you can start a little small and then go back a little later and get some stuff. Obviously, they have things like coffee, tea, all that sort of stuff that you could want. So that was awesome. Then from 11 to 9, it's the same fare, but it's like lunch dinner fare, and they always had pizza. Now it's not just like your standard pizza. They have different flavor pizzas on the different day, but one of the staples was the pepperoni hot oil. And if you like honey hot oil on your pizza, ooh, that was good. But one day they had strom calzone type. Um, they have obviously different, like a burger that you can do. And they had, I'm trying to remember everything now because it's kind of a
The
blur, but
sushi thing, the
oh, the sushi. So yeah, so here's the thing. I was trying to be somewhat health conscious and go protein heavy without a lot of the carbs. So they do hand roll sushi and the person's hand rolling it right in front of you. And they set up these stations and they have the yum yum sauce, or they could do the as in Cars 2, they talk about pistachio ice cream, but it's not the pistachio, it's the wasabi. But I mean, anyway, so that you could do all that sort of stuff. And it's really good. And then they sometimes have additional dishes that they can do. If you're vegetarian, they have stuff that you can eat there as well. So,
nachos,
you're covered.
tacos. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just out of this world. So never hungry, by any means. But I would say I would give a slight edge to the breakfast. The breakfast was that good. It wasn't because the lunch or dinner wasn't good. It was just the breakfast was that good. But the dinners were good as well. And then on the side, they have different day themed on desserts. So one day they have a basketball cookie. So it's a cookie as a basketball. You can take that. The other day they have like a little eclair, or little mini muffins or other kind of desserts. So that was phenomenal as well. And then, as Nick alluded to, then you have this basket, and it's not like a small basket. It's a big basket of candies. So you got M&Ms, potato chips, Butterfinger, Reese's peanut butter cups,
Take
and
that.
they refill it all the time. And then as he mentioned, they have a popcorn station. Well, if you don't want to stand in line to get the popcorn, you can just ask them bring it to you. And then the drinks, get out of town. So they have anything you can want, from vodka, whiskey, tequila, whatever. And to Nick's earlier comment, they actually advertised that they had Jack Daniel's Blackberry. Well, I hadn't had that before. I didn't know Jack Daniel's was going into the different flavors. Let's just say I enjoyed Jack Daniel's Blackberry, and they were bringing that. But if you wanted to do, like, say you're feeling a little tired, Red Bull and vodka included. Not an upcharge. Like there's no upcharge on a lot of that stuff. We did a rum chata. Rum chata. We did green tea
Green
shots,
tea shot. The shots
or
were
maybe
like,
maybe we saw people. I probably shouldn't say how much. We saw people doing this stuff.
the green tea shot was like, I mean,
Oh,
I
they
never
weren't
had a
playing.
shot bigger than that. I mean, it's a full glass. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he
it's a
literally come
shot.
like 5 minutes later, another one. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
So
and then my
they,
my drink of choice ended up being the tequila and pineapple. So,
oh
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
usually
That's
get
what
my
you.
vitamin C with vodka cranberry, but this time I did tequila and pineapple. So anyway, but if alcohol isn't your and they have beer, of course. They have plenty of different beers. But if alcohol isn't your thing, they got plenty of soda. They got water. They got tea. They got different things you can do there. But in the service, I mean, that was probably the thing that stood out the most. So you have basically a server who will get you food and get you whatever, and then they have somebody who is focused just mainly more on the drinks. They're around all the time, and like Nick said, they're willing to accommodate as best they can with whatever it is you're looking for. I mean, I obviously got up and walked around because sitting 12 hours straight is tough, but you could literally just sit there for 12 hours, never have to lift a finger, and be fully fed, drink, and entertain. Just a phenomenal experience. Highly recommend March Mania, and thank you, brother, for the recommendation, because I had a fantastic time.
I had a great time, and we always have fun when we go watch any kind of sport. And like again, we met some great people we had fun with, like from different horizon that we would have never met anywhere else. So
Yeah.
that's the good thing. And I said, okay, next year I'm gonna book the seat next to you guys, so we are all together, because we were talking to a bunch of basketball fan ass and sports fan ass, so fanatics. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's literally once a year, but that's for me the best time of the year as a sport fan. It's literally amazing, March Madness, and the first weekend is the best because that's where you have all the upset. So when you have an upset happening everybody jump out of their seat, we clap, and then we just, I mean, it's just an
Oh, some
atmosphere.
of those finishes. Yeah.
It's just an atmosphere that you cannot, and then like I said with Will, like you can bet the most stupid stuff, first to 5, first to 10, first to 15. So sometimes you sit down and you watch the game that you want to watch, but there's 3 other game going on at the same time, and then you hear someone out of the nowhere, yeah, jumping and stuff. It's like, what's happening? Oh, he hit this first to 10. So that's fun because you see all the thing and you're just laughing with everybody because everybody are so into their gambling. The first 3 baskets, first a 2 and a 3 and a 2, and if you do it right, you win. And Will was playing that all the time, so I need a 2, no, I need a 2. So that's you get into all the games even more by doing all those things and by rooting for people betting around you. So that's that was literally amazing, and cannot wait for next year.
Same. Yeah, a ton of fun. Yeah, lots of different unique prop bets you can do. So for those who want to bet on it as well, it adds a different element to the game. But highly recommend both March Mania or if basketball isn't your thing, Fontainebleau. It was impressive. Very impressive and definitely worth checking out. So that'll do it for this episode, Wanderlusters. Hope you enjoyed our latest Vegas experience and hope you get to experience it yourself in the future as well. So please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow 2 for the Win on your favorite platform. And if you want to book that next Vegas vacation, check out Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations. Thanks again for sponsoring today's episode. That'll do it, winners. Take care.
Thank you, Menard. Bye-bye.